Happy Monday, people, and welcome to another People's Poll, episode 3. My name's Serge.
My name is James.
We're still remote, but only for one more day, James, and then I'm back in England and we can sit next to each other, hold hands, do whatever we want to do. Rub legs, as the Art of the Dive guys would do, but we don't rub legs. So, People's Poll. Every Monday we come to you every Sunday we come to you with a question. You choose what we discuss. And this week you have chosen the Pukki party, Teemu Pukki. A very narrow winner, we have to say, James, right? Over Mane versus Salah.
Yeah, we'll talk Mane and Salah on the main pod because I've got some strong views on it. I have to say this
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think we will have to talk about him.
This is not the winner of the poll that I wanted, though. I kind of thought it would be one of the two, but it wasn't the subject that I wanted.
You wanted to talk about Berry?
Massively, yeah. I thought it would have been good. I knew it probably wouldn't win the poll, but all the comments I'm responding were like, yeah, talk about Berry, man.
But we'll do that in the main show. The advantage of the poll is if there is like a second place or a third place that people are interested in.
Let me tell you now, if we talk about Berry on the main podcast, it just become a 2.5 hour podcast, mate.
All right, we'll do a separate show, but I haven't done a lot of research into Berry, so I'm glad that it wasn't. But this is good. I've got a bit of time at the airport on the flight today. I'm going to do a little bit more reading about what's going on there. So we will touch on some of these points because there was a bit of interest about conversation about them. But the one that crept over the line was Teemu Pukki.
Aye. So
the case for and the case against.
Yeah.
Are you considering? Let's just start. Are you considering buying him?
Yes, I am considering
me too.
But I think I'm unlikely. Is the first thing to say. It really depends where you sit, and obviously everything we say about this and advise for or against Pukki is going to be completely down to your own individual circumstance. Like, if you're happy with your forward line at the moment, do not go breaking your teams a game. The overriding feeling for me goes to 2 points, for and against. The 4 is, you can see with your eyes, right? This guy's a goal scorer.
Yes.
Yes. His value is such that you believe you can put him in, leave him in. If you've already picked up the little bit of the rises, I mean, he's up to 6.7 now. You're going to sit there with him for quite a while, I should imagine. The against is me looking at it right now and going, if I go and buy now, it's Chelsea at home, West Ham away, Man City at home. Is now really the right time, just on the back of the herd, because he scored a hat-trick at the weekend, to go and get him?
He scored against Liverpool, so
yes.
There's nothing to say that he can't score against the big teams, and he has some really creative players behind him that will create chances against any of these top sides. I can see Norwich creating chances. Again, the hat-trick's interesting. He scored more than his XG would have suggested, which again goes to this natural goal scorer mindset. The interesting thing for me was I was thinking about it because I nearly pulled the trigger on Saturday. I didn't actually. I was out and about, so I missed looking at the price rises. And if I'd have seen the price rise, I probably would have pulled the trigger, moving away from Haller. And if he'd scored 1 goal and not 3 goals, would there still be this kind of herd mentality or hype around it as there would be because he scored a hat-trick? Like 2 in 2, people would probably just stay under the radar a little bit as, okay, he's had a steady start. It's because he scored a hat-trick that there's this bandwagon approach. And so it makes me think, why are we thinking negatively about making a transfer to someone because he scored 3 goals, which we wouldn't be thinking if he'd scored 1 goal?
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I mean, one of the things as well is that there's a thought at the moment that there are other players at that price and they're all shit. I don't think that's the case.
Not at all.
Ashley Barnes is on 3, including a goal at Arsenal at the weekend.
Correct.
And Jota's played 1 game.
Exactly. The thing with Jota is the European games. Like, they're really going to want to get past Torino, and 5 games in 14 days is what's putting me off Jota. Otherwise, he would be my first choice. Ashley Barnes, did you watch the Arsenal-Burnley game? I thought he played really well, and I thought Burnley played really well as well. They they've got a really good run of fixtures. The next 12 games or something, they're only playing Liverpool and Chelsea. And apart from that, they're not playing any other top 6 games. And like they're definitely going to be playing 2 up top in Woods and Barnes. And he was a menace and he was a pest and he scored 3 and 2. He's 0.1 cheaper. So I feel like Barnes is also a really good option. It's interesting when I put a poll out myself after the Pukki hat trick, thinking Pukki, Barnes, Jota, and I put Wood in there because I felt like having 4 options, but to be honest, he wasn't in that consideration. In the first hour, Pukki shot way ahead, like 70% of the votes, people were saying Pukki, followed by Jota. Over the course of a day, it evened out a lot more. Jota really kind of came back into people's reckoning. So it makes me think that it's not as clear cut. Like you said, there are other options out there. Over the course of the next 5 to 10 game weeks, it wouldn't surprise me if they were there or thereabouts on goals and assists.
No, and there's others in the value range. I mean, Josh King has obviously started in a lot of teams, which people will now migrate away from. I think Pukki will be a move for a lot of people who have got either King or Callum Wilson, like myself. You've also, going lower down the tier, you've got like Morpay at 6. I know he didn't start again at the weekend, but we do think he'll get into the Brighton team, and they look aside at the moment. I think it's probably more the point, thinking about it as a whole, we've named sort of 6-7 players there. It feels like you're going to need to be in and around that value. That's the big message I'd say. We need to have someone from that block. That's how it feels to me.
Yep. I agree with you, 100%. For me, I missed the first 0.1 rise. It wouldn't surprise me if Pukki gets another rise this week as well. Once I hate using the word casuals, but people that are not monitoring it closely come midweek, check their team before the deadline of the weekend and think, yeah, all right, Pukki's the one for me. It wouldn't surprise me if he rises again. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on it daily, to be honest.
I don't know if it's the right move. The other thing I wanted to mention is obviously more on Norwich, is the guy who assisted 2 of his goals, Todd Cantwell, has really emerged as a 4.5 million option, as someone to actually rival Dendoncker because of his positioning. So what's interesting about this is we've had 2 players come through for promoted clubs who even our correspondents and the people from their own fan bases were going, no. So obviously Lundstrom at Sheffield United now looks a joke. We'll do more of that on the main pod. And obviously Cantwell's emerged. So I went back and looked at his data a little bit. You know, towards the back end of last season, he wasn't even getting off the bench. There was no minutes. I don't think he played a minute in the last 5 or 6 games of Norwich's run at the end. Now, a couple of things have obviously changed that. There's obviously Arnel Hernandez has now picked up an injury on top of Vrancic's. So he's now looking quite solid as one of the 3 behind Pukki alongside Steeperman and Buendia. Roberts, who's in on loan from Man City, he's probably more comfortable on the right. And Cantwell will normally kind of interchange with Steeperman centre and left. And at 4.5, I wonder if that's someone, you know how we've said all along, Dendoncker is the best 4.5 option for your bench.
Yeah.
Now, this guy playing in this position, he might be feeding a lot of the ammunition to Pukki, and I wonder if he's potentially going to become a big enabler. He'll be 4.6 by the weekend as well, but he's obviously the one that's come out the weekend and not had the attention that Pukki's had.
Sure. The problem here is that at this early stage, you don't want to be pissing about with your 4.5.
Not really, no.
Bench enablers. It's like if anyone on a wild card, go for it, but for the rest of us, and look, Dendoncker could have easily had a goal last weekend, so let's wait and see what happens tonight. Although I'm crossing both my fingers, my toes, my kids' fingers, that Dendoncker doesn't play today. I need Dendoncker to stub his toe or catch a cold or something. Because
you've got Lundstrom on the bench, haven't you?
Yeah, Lundstrom's my second sub. Allaire didn't play, Dendoncker doesn't play, Lundstrom straight in. I heard that Tomo FPL Blades retiring his Twitter account and just leaving. Yeah, I love it. You know what? I love.
He's not.
He's probably still pissed after
celebrating. In fair to him, did you see the tweet he sent? Yes, he sent a tweet out with the predicted team for next week. It was just 11 Lundströms.
He knows, which is good.
Listen, he came out big and said, like all the Sheffield United accounts were like, this guy is he's not gonna stay in the team. That's what they all genuinely believed. They weren't saying it to be fucking arsey about it. Listen,
No,
trust
of
me,
course not.
he's sitting there thinking, wish I had him in my fucking team now. So that's the way it goes. And obviously on that, Fleck, who plays as kind of the left of the three there at the moment, has picked up an injury. So it's allowed them to integrate Freeman into the team who got the assist yesterday without taking Lundstrom out of the team. So he does look nailed at the moment.
Yeah. And again, but he's 4 million. He's bench fodder. So it happened last year with Wan-Bissaka week in, week out, where he was picking up points and BPS. But at that price, he's not going to make it into your starting 11. He sits on your bench. It's painful when you have 11 points sitting on your bench. You just got to deal with it, right? I'd rather have 11 on my bench than a 0 on my bench.
You would. It would come in handy if you get it to come off.
One day.
Look, unless you're wild carding at the moment, these guys like Lundstrom, Cantwell, for me, all right, there you go, man. Fuck it. Honestly.
You think so?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like you. I don't really want to be playing around in that position. Lundstrom is one that obviously really comes into my thoughts because that's obvious now if I want to change my formation.
Yeah,
and come away
you've
from
got
five at the back.
Yeah, 5 at the back. Moving to a Lundstrom is like a 2 transfer formation change for you that gives you another midfielder or an attacker, whichever you want to go with. Your cheap attacker is still Connor Wickham, right?
Yeah, I mean he's had 1 pointers in the 2 game weeks, so that's perfect.
Yeah. So moving to Lundstrom, you could take him up to. You could move to Barnes or Pukki or any of these guys if you went down to Lundstrom from any of your defenders, really.
Yeah, but personally, I need to. I mean, now we've come back onto Norwich, but I need to move off of at least one of Wilson or Fraser, don't I? Ahead of that game with City at the weekend, they got Leicester afterwards, who look really good. So just for usage, like Pukki, in, out, shake it all about, party.
I'm not against the move. If anyone's looking to make a transfer this week and buy Pukki, he's going to score consistently for the rest of the season.
Well, yeah, that's the point as well. So the flip side of me obviously saying, yeah, those 3 fixtures, Manchild is looking at me in the background going, Pukki, Pukki. Yes, those 3 fixtures coming up, but you're looking at him and going, ah, man, like he's going to score goals, isn't he? And I wonder as well,
he just is.
The other impact on Pukki that I wonder if it's really playing on people's minds is Jimenez and how that trained last year. It was obviously a slower, more consistent build.
And also, Jimenez started at 5.5, so he started.
Yeah, but I think there was a lot of people like myself who were in regret for so long of letting it go. And because obviously he became such an unbelievable value player for people for basically the whole season, you are going into a season for FPL with that mindset of, I need to find this year's Wan-Bissaka, this year's Raul Jimenez. And at the moment, the Raul Jimenez answer right now looks like Pukki, doesn't it?
Yeah, or Barnes. Who do you think will score more goals over the season, Pukki or Barnes?
Probably Pukki, but I think it'd be close.
Yeah.
Norwich
at the moment
will have bad runs, right? Like they're shocking defensively. So if people defend well against them, like they're going to struggle in games. Norwich. I guess it's part as well. What do we think of the next 2? You'll know better than me on this. It's like Chelsea at home on the weekend. Like on paper, you go tough, but they're not defending well. Then yourselves.
Second half yesterday, they were sluggish. I suppose they'd played 120 minutes midweek, so I'll give them that. But second half, Leicester were all over them yesterday.
And then obviously Norwich go to yourselves in game week 4.
Yeah, we're defensively, ropey.
And we'll do that tomorrow.
Balbuena got dropped, right, for Ogbonna, so I don't even know who the back 4 will be that day.
Then it's City at home in game week 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wouldn't go in at that stage. And then we kind of pre-season always earmarked for Norwich. Like before game week 6, we've got Mark, FPL Badger, and our Burnley correspondent, Jack Turfy Topper, coming on for Clash of the Correspondents before their fixture in game week 6. And we've always kind of ringed game week 6 as the Norwich go and look. But actually, is it even then? When you look at how Burnley have played in the first 2?
Burnley have played well. I think if you want Pukki, just get him now and just ride it out. He's a buy and hold for the season because he could easily haul like he did. I think one of the things that we're not talking about is how crap Newcastle are.
Well, yes, that's really important to say.
I messaged you, right? I was like, if Pukki's banged in 3, can I triple captain Harry Kane against them this week? Like,
Well, of course
it's not a stupid suggestion, is it? Because
no, it's a stupid suggestion because you don't know how Spurs will line up this weekend. You don't even know the formation, so don't be triple captaining players under that circumstance. But yeah, Kane.
Harry Kane
you can certainly lock Kane as my captain for the game week 3. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Newcastle are rubbish.
So for me, like, I'm probably going to come off Wilson. So this whole debate about like Pukki, Barnes, it's all relevant. I look at the next. You're saying Burnley got a good run. I look at the next 2 and go Wolves away, Liverpool at home. I don't feel like this is where I want to start with Ashley Barnes. I don't really feel like this is where I want to start Teemu Pukki. I'd probably like to go to Jota because I think consistently over the season he could outscore the other 2. But
he's more likely to get assists than the other 2 as well.
But having already let 0.1 personally go on Fraser, and knowing that I'm probably going to need to make a decision really soon before I lose 0.1 on Wilson as well, I can't dive into Jota because he's playing tonight and Thursday.
Yeah.
So I can't make... If I decide Jota, I've got to weigh it out. And I can't... The ideal replacement for me, probably for Fraser, is Martial. Now, at the moment, I can't get there because of the value. As soon as I sell Wilson, I can. But if I decide Jota, I can't go till Friday. And I'm just going to have to accept what I'm losing on the value. There's a lot of talk at the moment about how volatile the market is and how quickly prices are changing. For me, it's no different to other years. You've you've got 6 million active players.
Yep. For me, that 500,000 I saved in the bank, it's so nice. It's like walking into a shop and you can basically pick up anything you want and not have to worry about the price rises.
Yeah.
Pukki's gone up a couple of pips, not a problem for me. It's so nice to have that 500,000 in the bank at the moment. To Pukki, I'm moving away from Haller this week. I'm pretty sure I am.
That was a good choice, wasn't it?
I mean, he's played 1 game, so it's a bit hard to judge. But the others that are 1 million cheaper are offering good value at the moment, and I don't know how long.
So having started with Haller at home to Man City, he's missed the Brighton game with a minor injury, and your next 2 are Watford and Norwich, and now you want to sell him.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I don't know if
I might buy Haller.
Yeah, do it.
No, I'm not joking. If he's definitely fit for the weekend, he's an option for me. Because I probably want to dip someone in for the next 2 while I have a clearer decision to make on Pukki, Barnes, and Jota.
Yeah. If I don't make the move away from Haller, because quite a few people, when I put a poll out, did jump in and say, yo, stick on the guy for another couple of weeks. And I don't feel like I've given him a chance. Like, even look at this week, right? I nearly jumped away from Ceballos because he didn't start the first game, and I didn't. And sometimes doing nothing is actually better than doing something. And what a bit of doing nothing that turned out to be for me. So I do understand that it's not fair. Tell me.
I'll tell you who else I've been considering, which will seem ridiculous because there's no form behind them. Is Delafeu and Deeney are also in that bracket. Already had little drops of 6.4. Plus, if I get Troy Deeney in and have him while you 2 play each other during Planet FPL Live 2 and he scores, I mean, we've got some gold, haven't we?
If Troy Deeney scores against us during Planet FPL Live 2, that would be horrible. Yeah.
I might go Deeney, mate.
James, you got 2 free transfers this week, right?
Yeah.
So, and obviously you don't want to burn one, do you?
What do you mean? Oh, I'm happy. I could potentially just make one.
You don't want to waste one.
What? No, I'm not rolling, am I?
By not making a transfer.
Nah,
I mean.
you can't be burning transfers. Listen, we're not all like Paul, Sky player in FPL, who can do what he wants and finish 48 in the world. I can't be wasting a transfer. Even if I just went Stevens to Cantwell, right, I'm going to do something.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm most likely to move on Fraser and Wilson. I'll talk about more tomorrow.
I've got a second move in mind at the moment, which is a Jose Perez to James Maddison. And depending on if I make that move, then I might just ride out Haller for another week.
If he's fit, I think you should keep him.
Haller?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold, like you said, to move to Pukki or Barnes, unless I see a real shift in the market on price. But again, I've got that 500,000. But I'm going to use that 500,000 to get from Perez to Maddison potentially. So yeah, I'm not averse getting Pukki. If you get Pukki, go for it. But I don't think he is necessarily a standout against Barnes or Jota. They've all got their advantages. I suppose get the one that makes you the happiest, right?
Yeah, that would probably be Pukki. You'll enjoy having Pukki. What I'd say, just to close on him, like one of the things that stood out for me at the weekend was how few touches he had in the game. He had 29 or 30 touches.
Wow.
We spoke about how he doesn't really have any amazing traits. Like he's not particularly quick. He's not that strong in the air. I looked back at him statistically to see what he'd done over the years. All right, he had obviously had a great year in the Championship last year, was Championship Player of the Year. And he had a good final season at Brøndby, who let him go on a free, right? And we're talking about from the Danish league. Before that, he'd kind of been in and out of Finland where he'd had spells like at Schalke, not really done a lot. He had a spell at Celtic. I can't even remember it. It's only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He'd done nothing really at Celtic. He's just completely turned his game around. I noticed as well, looking into him, he used to have really long hair. You wouldn't believe that.
Out.
Planet FPL wifey, captain at the weekend, she said the poor fella needs a hair transplant. I said, yeah, but you won't be taking him out of your fucking team now, will you?
No. Well, there we go.
I think it's circumstantial to everyone. And I think for those who haven't already been on and made the move, I think not chasing points, you might be chasing the price a little bit, is how I feel. And I don't think I'll be buying Teemu Pukki this week.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm very 50-50 about whether or not I'll end up with Teemu Pukki this week. If I don't go with Teemu Pukki, then I'll be going with Ashley Barnes. So I'm hoping. I feel like we haven't helped anyone in terms of looking at it, but yeah, if he'd scored, I suppose my ultimate point is if he'd scored only one goal, he'd be quietly under the radar like Jimenez was last year. The fact that he scored 3, factor in the fact that Newcastle are just garbage at the moment. He's a real consideration, and he is going to keep going up in price. He's going to hit 7 million by Christmas, if not way earlier, if he keeps scoring at the rate he is.
Well, if he scores again at the weekend, it'd probably be 7 million before game week 4.
Exactly. So value's not necessarily a worry. He's going to keep going up in value. If you went on Pukki and you went on a bad run, there's players below him in price that are still good assets to have. So
that is true.
I'd rather buy Pukki and then in a couple of weeks move down to Barnes than the other way around.
There isn't a standout. Like I said, I've kind of been looking at the 2 fixtures up until the break. There isn't one that's lower than him, though I can say to you, definitely better value. There isn't one.
No.
Sure. Jota's the one I'd like to go to, but that Europe is. They've got 2 more games before the fucking weekend, man.
Yeah, it's mad.
All right, let's wrap that up.
Cool. Guys, thanks for listening to the People's Poll. This weekend we have Planet FPL Live 2. Follow us on Twitter for more news about that. But if you do want to come and join the FPL community in London to watch Norwich-Chelsea, a live show, James and I are going to be running through the 3 o'clock games as they happen with mics in front of us as the points are coming in. And then we have Liverpool-Arsenal as the 5:30 kickoff in Holborn in central London. Look out for the tweets because there's links to pick yourself up a ticket and come and join us there. James, anything else to add?
Nah, Tottenham tomorrow and main pod tomorrow night.
Yeah, so much to record. I need to make it back from Malta and sort out my mess of a diary so we can just keep recording
Boom.
So we'll be back at you with a ton of content this week. Hope you had a great game week 2. Oh, well, we don't know yet because we've got one game to go, but hope
Yeah,
that
I
goes
know.
well for
Mine
you.
was shit.
Yeah. Can we do an extra pod this week?
We're not doing enough, boy.
How does it feel to be beaten by Manchild?
We'll throw that into the main pod.
Ciao for now.
See you later. Cue music. Is he really fucking beating me?
The Fantasy Football Show.